Hey y'all, you're listening to Spiritual Freedom Podcast, and I'm your host, Susie. I'm glad you made it. So this is a safe space where we get to talk about anything and everything spiritual and metaphysical, but we're going to talk about it without the judgment, without the fear or religious guilt, and without losing any credibility. So let's open our hearts and our minds, and let's talk about the weird without being weird about it. Hey y'all. So I wanted to make a quick talk, let's hope it's quick, about midlife crisis energy and how to work through it. I'm calling it midlife crisis, but quite honestly, I think I had a quarter life crisis. I'm probably going to have a 3/4 life crisis. I'm already foreseeing this now. And so this is like the plan of action. So right now, in terms of astrology, if anyone even gives a shit, but I'm just going to tell you what I got's going on. And it's Uranus, my natal Uranus, which happens to be on my ascendant, just above it, just in the 12th house, which for those of you who don't know, certain houses mean certain things in your life and how you express things. And Uranus in my 12th house means really unique, interesting thoughts, out of the box, nonconformist, that sort of thing. And, well, I'm just going to summarize it quickly like that. If it had been in the first house, it'd be like a lot of tattoos, a lot of crazy, quirky outfits, colorful hair. But like I said, it's quite close to my ascendant. It's almost nearly completely on it. So I played around with it, with this midlife crisis energy. So I have my natal Uranus, and the current transiting Uranus is almost exactly opposite. So it creates this, what we call midlife crisis energy. Like this is what that thing creates astrologically. If you subscribe to astrology beliefs, that planet interaction with your natal chart, meaning the natal is like a picture of what your chart looked like, where the planets were at the time you were born on Earth. And that's a little thumbprint from God saying, hey, you've got some things. You should probably look at your birth chart. Just saying, doesn't hurt. Be open to it. But yeah, that particular energy takes about 40 some years because Uranus only goes around the soul, whatever, I'm going to say it weird, but it only comes back to it where it was in the natal chart when you were born. It takes what it has to be. That has to be about 80 something years. So when it's completely opposite, these opposite angles are seen as like pressure points. And I'm also making this very quick, okay, guys? If it had been 90 degrees at my quarter life crisis, that was another pressure point. At three-quarter life, it's going to be another 90 degrees, but kind of coming back together for, being next to where it was at the time I was born, when I'm 80 something years old. If you guys can kind of see the video, you'll see my hands moving in the right direction. For those listening on the podcast, I'm sorry, that was probably really painful to listen to, and I just don't give a shit anymore about things being perfect. And my desk is a mess, so I might knock shit over while we're talking, so just know that that's kind of where I'm at right now. Anywho, so midlife crisis energy. It happens to everybody. It becomes like a little motif about, or a cliche about, people buying convertibles, the guy who cheats on his wife and leaves his wife of, 20 some years with this new young thing, that kind of stuff. Like, we have cliches for a reason. This is an astrological pressure. And what it is, it's just supposed to make you look at your life. And if you haven't been doing those questions, you get fated, crazy, things that can kind of hit you from out of nowhere. All right. And if you're not ready and anticipating these things, it can really mess up your 3D life, meaning nothing is ever messed up. I feel like your path is our path. Okay. You're not going to F up, but if you want to have less 3D painful experiences, it's nice to engage in this energy going in so that you lessen it, you work with it. And then you can kind of see things coming and not be in the state of illusionment, or disillusion is what I should say. Oh, that person is beautiful. I really need that person in my life. When really the question was, what am I not doing in my own life to spark it up and give youth? Let me not go after a youthful person. It is actually within me that I need to do for myself. People outside of our lives are all 3D mirrors, guys. We're all just mirroring what our soul wants. So when we get struck by attraction or any of that, that is like a huge sign of, well, what do they have in their life that I am seeing that they have in their life? I perceive, because a lot of this is, they can have a fucked up life, but yet somehow we only see the sparkle. But I see that sparkle and I want it. And I think it's that person I want, when really it's the energy that this person has, the life perspective, that's something in it that I want. My soul's like, change. And so it creates this huge drive toward that person, but it should be an inner examination. Okay, so there, I gave you a huge little peek into midlife crisis, how to get through it without shitting on your life. But the biggest thing for me, and there's another one too, and I'm forgetting it, and I really don't give a shit. All I can say is midlife crisis energy, and there's a couple of astrological factors. They're BAPs. They're big ass planets that kind of create this pressure point. One of them's Uranus. I think another one's like either Saturn or it's Pluto, it's Neptune. I don't remember. BAPs, big ass planets. They create like, look at your life. You're going to die. Are you happy? Like that's the pressure. Like, and you get so annoyed at status quo. If it's a status quo that you just are like, you don't even realize at first that you've been cool with, and suddenly you're like not cool with. And forgive me, I'm still kind of in allergy season, still in June. Oh shoot, it's July. Pacific Northwest is still going on, man. But yeah, like my biggest pointer, because I feel like I'm a poster child for midlife crisis energy. As y'all may know, I recently came back from my trip to England. I had a fan-fucking-tastic time. I have never traveled anywhere that was like for a sacred purpose, to let go of some energies that I needed to let go of, and to embrace this like new Susie life that I wanted to lead. And it was all about, what sacred sites do I want to go to? It was just very, very sacred centric. And I have never traveled like that. It's always been with people to like, I've got to caretake them, that sort of thing. And this time, honestly, I did have a travel buddy through part of it. And I want to say a big, huge thank you to Yvonne. Yvonne showed me some beautiful ways to give space for other people who are traveling in this way. One thing I learned from her was like, if we went to a sacred place, she would say, hey, at the end of this, let's meet over here. There was no time expectation. Like, let's do it by at least 2 hours. Nothing. This was like total hands off. You take as long as it takes. If it takes 5 million hours, I'll see you in 5 million hours. I got $5 over here. So she was, either wait for, or vice versa. I don't really remember, who ended up waiting for who long enough, because we both had this agreement. This is the meetup spot with no pressure. If you see me there, you just take your time. And it was wonderful. And, we even had some independent time, but it was nice and safe to have like a little bit of a travel buddy, and especially one that kind of knew certain areas. And so like, I just cannot even thank my precious friend enough for what she allowed me to kind of have in my own time, which I really needed. And like, for an example, I'm just going to let y'all know this, so that if you ever go traveling with another buddy for sacred travel, like even the walk to, like, say this one stone circle, we were walking down, she was like, hey, you need to go have your own experience. Go walk by yourself. I'll see, our meeting spot, no pressure, and that is what it is. And so we kind of separated, and it was just nice to kind of go and have my own experience, my own embracement of like what I was going to see. And I felt like my meditative messages were coming to me the moment like I started walking alone. It was just beautiful. And that was such a moving experience for me. And the fact that she recognized if I had been walking with her, I'd be wanting to chit chat, like, oh my God, look at this. Oh my gosh, this is coming, no. She needed her time, I needed mine, and I just really respect friends like that. Just wanted to say that. So thank you, Yvonne. I will never forget that trip. So, and I highly suggest, if you go with somebody, if you can't go by yourself, because I know that was kind of a grand gesture to myself, kind of a big thing to go to England and just by myself, prioritize those expenses for my family, and having a spouse that wasn't triggered by the fact that I wanted to go by myself. and that I needed it. I needed it badly. And it was great. It was fan-fucking-tastic. So anyway, I highly encourage you to do that. I learned while on the trip, a major thing was, and I think this goes along with the midlife energy stuff, or anytime you're in a tough energy, why don't we just kind of, let's kind of open it, is that the perspective of when you're traveling, that shit can happen, plans can change, you get, it's all kind of wackadoo at certain times. Trains move to different platforms, and you're kind of like, okay, I gotta roll. Okay, maybe we missed that one. I guess we're going to Bath. I guess I'm going to Bath. I guess I'm going to, Stratford upon Avon. Okay. Like that kind of like roll with it deal. Like I need to bring that perspective head home, like on the daily. And when I got home here, I kind of felt like I almost wanted to be like, okay, now what's my, what do I want to do with my career? What do I want to do with, and kind of getting back into like expectation mode and like pressurized can mode, where you kind of want to like, you want to attack it too much. And there is an element of flow and of non-resistance that is lovely in travel that can bring so many beautiful things. Like we had so many crazy things happen together, happen apart, where it was just obviously like, if we had the mantra of everything is going to work out well, like everything's going to work out perfectly. Like even if shit happens and it sounds bad, like train is at capacity, you're going to miss this train. And you're like, oh shit, that means like, are we going to get a train home tonight? It's like, just relax. And because then that means you go to a different place, and then you end up, the timing of stuff just all works out. Anyway, long story short, be in this flow. And traveling kind of like brought me into this flow, which I feel like I kind of needed. I felt like I have been under the daily routine. I mean, granted, having kids in school year, it's like that just becomes routine. Monday through Friday, 7 a.m., getting them up, getting, that kind of stuff. Well, they're getting their own asses up now, but, making sure they get to school. Homework, being on tabs of that stuff, that can kind of, I don't want to sound like I'm unappreciative of family, but it can over time make us feel like if I do one more planned and typical action, I'm going to scream. And so I think after 40 something years of doing that in life, right? Like we've had like, we grow up, we go through school, or we get into careers, we have children, and we get into this route and routine kind of thing. That gets old. And I think that's part of this midlife crisis examination. This energy comes up where it's not fun. And we're like, oh my God, what do I got to do? I'm going to like, either I'm having road rage every day, or I'm getting pissier at my spouse, that kind of stuff. Or you can seek things to depressurize. For me, a big grand gesture was this England trip. No one has to go that crazy. There are about twice a year, I usually take a trip either to the coast by myself, usually for a few days. I know, gal, I'm talking from a little bit of privilege, okay? But I'm just saying you can dial down any of these. You can go camping. You can go to another friend who might be like my Yvonne friend, and it's like, yes, here, have your space. There's no pressure. Go chill. And then you could be somewhere and not have to spend the money, but like have your time alone and like recover. We have to do it. We have to do these things. We can't just pretend like our soul isn't there, and that our wants aren't there, and that we're not like this independent energy that needs to kind of get out. Because if we don't, we get so pressurized, we do stupid stuff. We start seeing things really super negative. We start getting constrictive about other things. It's like you don't want anything to do with your life anymore because you felt so pressurized about it. I don't even want to see my children anymore. That kind of thing, in response to, well, let me have some trips away. Oh, then you start missing your kids and you come back into it. Like, I don't know if anyone's at that point with their children, but because, yeah, they can be a lot. But, or their spouse or partner. But I think it's real about this pressure. And like I said, you can kind of tune down the England trip version and make it a smaller, but equally like releasing and healing for you kind of trip. And I'm a huge proponent of it. I think those who don't even, like, remember the first time I did it, I was like, this is so nuts. I'm going to a place completely by myself within an hour of my house, and for 3 nights. And I remember feeling like so super like selfish. It was so odd to me. But then at the end, by day 2, I was like, oh, this relaxation by myself and thinking through things and like thinking about things that were bothering me and tuning into my heart space and really being like, okay, what don't want to, okay, pretend I'm on my deathbed. I know I sound morbid, but what the fuck is going to come up? What am I not looking at? What am I not doing? What dream am I not allowing to even come to my consciousness because I'm too fucking busy, or I'm placating, or I'm just self-sacrificing too much? Like, that is so real. Y'all, I have a good relationship and I was very codependent. I did not put any energy into examining what was in my soul that needs to come out. I wouldn't have thought at all that I'd be speaking about spiritual things until I finally just did that little thing, and it was like, you know, I want to fucking do this. I want to speak. I do want to speak. This is really in my heart. And then that actually was one of the first trips where I finally got a lot of my podcast material kind of ready. So I highly suggest it. And I don't know, guys, it's like my medicine. It's medicine for my soul to be able to talk to you guys. This is, I don't know. I don't know the answers, but being able to tell you guys what I struggle with and how I'm trying to figure it out heals me, and I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me be vulnerable, and that means a lot to me. And besides that, and just having the time and the perspective of, because no matter what trip you take, I think having an idea of flow and knowing it's all going to work out and it's okay, it's going to feel uncomfortable, but go do it and experiment, because like, it's something you haven't tried. If you're unhappy with how things are going, do something that you haven't tried before. And some people really, I think, say to themselves, well, I'm just they kind of know that they're Klingons to their people. You know, I think they literally know. And then some people probably don't know, but so the ones that actually know, you really need to do it. Like, get out there, stretch the soul, see what's in there, have that come to Jesus moment, or come to spirit moment, come to source moment, about, again, being on your deathbed and being like, what is the major like talent in here that I wish I would have come out with? Is it like photography? Is it fashion? Is it like doing tutorials about like how I overcame whatever struggle that was in your life? I'm telling you, it's there for a fucking reason. And we all need your medicine. If you need to hear this a few times to just hit replay, we all need your medicine. Whatever that work was for you, I'm telling you, there is a huge population of people that need to hear it. So get out there and do it. The thing is, I think we just don't slow down and prioritize this kind of quietness. So people, when they go on their own solo vacations, you can do it. I'll say this. You can busy yourself to where you're not really getting the benefit of this, what I'm talking about. Whether it be over exercise, over anything, you can over project yourself. Like, I made sure like my podcast stuff, when I was doing it, I wasn't like overkilling it. I like kind of did it, and then I did like little writings, and I just kind of relaxed, and I read, and then I drew, and then I did, oracle stuff for myself to kind of just like my time with God. Like, I meditated. I did all this stuff. I did walks. Like, don't make it all about this internal, like, pressurized spirit, come give me all this shit. Sometimes it might just be the door opener or window opener for you to kind of relax your energy, and then the real information is going to come soon. So just trust the process. Show spirit that you're trying to prioritize yourself and this healing, and that you want that, and then great, you're good. You're on the path. So the other part of midlife crisis energy, if this wasn't already kind of long enough, but it's a little bit on appearance. Now, I, again, am kind of privileged. I have an in-house legal position, so I do not have to worry about what I look like, no clients, no court appearances. I don't have that shit. So I'm pretty chill about, my hair. And if I wanted to, You know, I've been bright purple. I have been Avenger red. Both were fucking fantastic. So I suggest that too. Like, I was surprised at how much hair color can really change you, especially for women. I'm telling you, like, I don't know if it's the inner child that kind of got sparked or something, but I swear I did more cartwheels when I was Avenger red. I did with purple. I just like signed up for a lot of like physical things. Like, I think I did a couple of runs with one with my kids, one by myself. And that was the year that I think I also did my solo trip. I started my kind of, how do I want to say it? Midlife crisis, like depressurizing stuff, in 2020. That's kind of when it started. So I started taking my trips then and all that sort of thing. But yeah, go for like as much as you can with your appearance. I mean, I got the whole cliche nose ring or nose piercing just last year, or this is within a year. So this is definitely midlife crisis energy for me, but like, own it. If I got myself a convertible, I'd laugh at it and call it, yeah, my midlife crisis vehicle, and it'd be cool. Note if you're having a pissed off reaction to that. It's okay to own this energy, guys. It's okay to be seen as unstable and funny, okay? It's how you take it. If you are getting triggered by someone seeing you as kind of that way, then that tells me you really care about what other people think about you. We all have that. Those are layers of healing that need to happen for you. Okay, I have had that. I've hit a big chunk. I obviously don't give a shit. Y'all have seen my videos about my hair. It's just like, come on, like, yeah, that's kind of dialed down. The days of a litigation power suit are kind of behind me. And I'm glad for it. I feel much more free and relaxed to kind of appear how I want to appear. But I will say though, if you're feeling a little pissed off by any sort of inkling about being in a midlife crisis energy and not owning it and joking about it, then kind of like examine that. Be like, what is that about me? Okay, wow, that feels really tight and constricted. I wonder if I feel judged all the time. And then because I feel judged, maybe you felt judged as like by your parents as a kid a lot, that you just don't want anyone judging you. So you kind of try to come off as perfect all the time. And so you don't want to do this, even though you know it would be fun and you'd have a great time, and it would kind of like chill out your pressure inside, your pressurized midlife crisis pressure. But you won't do it because you think it makes you look unstable. And dude, this tells me you really need that medicine. So if you can get away with it with your job and your situation, if you have a few months off because you got a seasonal work or whatever, oh my God, now's the time. Go enjoy it. Go have a bunch of fucking fun. Like, it's great. Definitely suggest any of it. Like change your wardrobe, like all this stuff depressurizes. The other fun thing I started doing the last couple of years, like I did a couple things. Like I definitely started doing physical things that were like really challenging to me. I've always had a fear of heights, so I started rock climbing. And the rock climbing experience has really shown me how to work through fear. And I love it. We just went to a park to go climb outside, and that was just beautiful, y'all. It's just such a great experience. So it's not too late to start a new hobby, one that's really kind of like odd, and go for it. Like, just like, be open. Like, this all depressurizes that midlife crisis. I'm not changing my world kind of feeling. I'm dying. I'm not young again. Yes, you are. You're doing all these new things. So do new shit. And don't even question it. If you don't like it, then fine. Stop and then do something else. Life is about experimenting. And the other thing I did too was I started roller skating. I don't have a roller skating rink that's really close to me, but there's one within an hour. And me and my kids last summer had a ball. Occasionally through the school year, we do that for a mental health day. And yeah, like even this summer, we're going to continue it. I love classic quad skating. It is super fun. And it just reminds me back in the East Texas, 1980s, rolling around to like We Are the World and writing little cute notes to boys I had crushes on and passing the note to them. I mean, it just brings back this joyful girl energy in me. So whatever that is for you, if you were a kid and that was like going to baseball games again, and go do it. Go take half a day off and go see a day game. If it was for you to do, I don't know, go to the beach, and if that's a drive and you haven't been to the beach in forever, like I said, do a mental health day, do half a day by yourself, go get an ice cream, walk the boardwalk. Like, you would be surprised at what heals you. And it's these little decisions that just kind of tell your soul, I hear you. I know you haven't been happy lately, and I'm trying to hear you. And maybe during those walks, you can kind of set an intention to connect with God, to get more information about, okay, what's in here that I really need to bring out? Because I'm telling you, if you're feeling like you're under like the normalized pressured can of existing, and it's not fun, and you're not liking life, you just are sick of the same routine, that is something you should look at and examine. And you can do it in small ways. You're not going to, burst open and explode. You're going to be okay. And this is great to do with therapy. Like, I have a therapist. There's no shame there. You don't win a special award by not going to a therapist ever in your life. In fact, I think you lose a lot of perspective and healing by avoiding it, if you're avoiding it. But if you're able to afford it, go to a therapist. If you're able to afford it, go take some time off by yourself, away from your family, and think about, what do you want to leave the world with? Is there something special? And if there is, what small moves can you do to make it happen? And maybe just bringing it to the top of your mind is going to be like good enough medicine right now to just kind of the next foot forward. And then try to maybe do that trip or whatever this medicine was, seeing your friend that is really low key that you can kind of go to and kind of have this non-pressurized visit, but have time alone. Then you can do that, without cost. And then see about doing that in another 3 or 4 months, another 3 or 4 months after then, and kind of build on it. And then you don't feel like you got to leave as much anymore. And then what I feel like I found is that I find my own alone space here in my life. I can claim it more. Like, I can be like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to podcast today. No, I'm going to write today. No, I'm going to meditate today. And I'm not always saying no, but I have empowerment to do it, to say it, to tell my kids, to tell my spouse, I have a right to some of my weekend. And I know it because I need it. And I know I need it. And they know I need it. They want me to have it. They see me so happy coming back from these trips. So jazzed. Like, it's great medicine. So I know this was kind of a rando quick message, but I hope this helps at least anyone who's in the midlife crisis game, or the quarter life crisis, or the 3/4 life crisis. It is okay. And we're all going to get through it. It's meant there to be like a little soul check, and enjoy your purple hair. Or nose piercing. Go for it. Anyway, y'all, before I tell you to go get a tattoo and all that stuff, let me just sign off here. Go get a tattoo. Anyway, thanks for listening. I hope this helps, y'all. Take care.